Oh, I have never been this sick for this long. I'm human. I get, come down with something from time to time, but at most it's like a full day of rest and, vitamins and hydration. Um, and that usually gets me back enough where I can get some work done. You've probably, heard in a video from time to time, I might, sound a little stuffed up or sound a little under the weather, but, it's a couple of days, you come down with a little bug, I get better and I move on. But this has lasted, I mean, we're going on more than a week now. We're on a day past it being a full week. See, um, so when I went to Los Angeles, I left on the 16th. I flew over there, and when I go to California, especially when I'm close in to the Los Angeles area, I might get a little wheezy. Um, it's pretty normal, just air quality. So when I came back on, that was a Monday, I went to Los Angeles. I got in, I got to my hotel, I crashed. The next morning, I got up and I did the work that I was there to do. And then I went and visited a buddy of mine, and we hung out for the rest of the day. I slept at his place, and then we hung out for part of the day because my flight back wasn't until later that afternoon. We hung out for part of the day, and then I went back to I went back to the airport, flew back home. Because of the time difference, I left California on I left LAX on Wednesday at 5:30, and then I got to Amsterdam Thursday at about two. My plane came in at 2:30. Then I went through passport control, got my bag, and then I took the train home. Got home about 6 o'clock. Talked to the family for a little bit, and then hit the sack. And then when I woke up the next morning, I felt great. My wheezing had gone away, and I had a ton of energy. I mean, I got probably the most exercise I've ever gotten in a day. The day before, so my flight had a connection in London. So at the London Heathrow Airport, our plane came in, and I think I should have had a couple of hours, but our plane came in a little late. And my connecting gate couldn't have possibly been any further away and still been in the same airport. I'm not even sure I was at the same airport by the time I was at my connecting gate. Because not only do you walk forever, then I took a bunch of escalators down to a door that went outside, and it was a bus that took me to a different area of the airport. And then I went back up a bunch of escalators, and I was starting to run out of time. So by now by the time before I got to the bus, I was running, not running, but like double timing it. I was speed walking, picking up the pace. So by the time I got off the bus, I ran up the escalators. There wasn't a lot of people in the way. I ran up the escalators, ran down hallway after hallway, and it keeps telling you which way to go. And then you take a turn, and it's like this way, and then you take a turn, and it's this way, and then you go down more escalators, and then you go up some escalators, and then you turn a corner, and you keep going. And then I went down two more escalators, and I got to a tram. And I was like, Jesus Christ. So then we get off the tram, and then I run up two layers of escalators. I finally get to my gate, and I'm drenched in sweat. My legs are noodles at this point. But I get on the plane. So by the time I got home, I walked through the Amsterdam airport is also pretty large. So, I walked through the airport, getting out, and then I took the train home, and then I walked home from the train station, which was pretty close. So I was out pretty easily. The next day I woke up. I felt great. I had some sore muscles, like if you go work out hard at the gym, the next day you're gonna feel it. So I was like, I definitely could tell my muscles were sore, but I felt great. I had no wheezing. I had to do a blood draw. I was scheduled to do a blood draw at the doctor's office for an upcoming doctor's appointment, so they'd have the lab work back by then. And our doctor's office is, probably like a 5 to 7 minute walk away from our house. So I walked down there, got the blood draw, came back feeling great. And that day I finished up what I needed to do to, get some work ready for the following Monday episode. So this is a Friday. By the time I'm about to go to bed on Friday night, I feel a little tickle, just a little tickle in the throat. And so, I drink some water, try to keep hydrated, and I go to bed. And then Saturday morning, I woke up and I felt like I was dying. I just congested, headache. My son had gotten sick while I was away. So a day or two after I left, my wife texted me and said, he was sick. He was going to take the bus home from school. No problem. So he was getting better, but not fully better by the time I got home. And apparently there's something going around here that's, lasting a week to 2 weeks of people just being sick with a cough and a congestion. And so I think I caught that. Sometimes, you travel, and when you're on a plane full of strangers that could have anything, you pick something up. But I don't think that's the case. I think I got sick with whatever's going around here. So I got up Saturday morning and I felt like garbage, but I was able to record the episode that I was planning to put out that Monday, which you can tell in the episode. I sound awful. And then I did a couple other things, and then I crashed. And then Sunday I woke up and I felt worse. I was able to get some editing done. And then I crashed again. And then Monday morning I got up early and I got the rest of that video edited and uploaded. And then since that point, I wasn't able to do much else. By Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I felt the worst I'd ever felt. My head I was just dizzy. I couldn't keep my head from spinning, and I just couldn't keep from coughing up tons of phlegm. And I the only work I did as far as anything that goes with YouTube or true crime was I did some work here and there reading the book I'm reading for a different case. That's a story that was supposed to be on Thursday, but never happened. Also, that Wednesday, my wife and I were supposed to go to Dusseldorf to see Cyndi Lauper perform on her farewell tour. Obviously, I wasn't able to go. I mean, up until Wednesday morning, I was thinking about it, feeling guilty that I was going to disappoint my wife, because by this point, she was still, she seemed, she wasn't sick at all. My son was pretty much at the end of his sickness. He's getting better. My other kid hadn't gotten anything, and she hadn't seemed to get anything. And I was like, we were going to take the train, easily just be able to hop on the train here, go to Dusseldorf. It's a couple hours on the train, pretty inexpensive. I got a hotel room not too far from the stadium. We drop our stuff off, go see the show, and then we could just go crash at the hotel, and then, check out Dusseldorf the next morning, and then take the train home. I thought about driving, which might be a little, I mean, I don't want to get other people sick, but then again, I was lightheaded. I was dizzy. I was like, there's no way I can drive. it just wouldn't have been a pleasant experience. Pushing myself probably would have not helped me get better. And at the end of the day, we decided not to go. So, unfortunately, we were not able to see that show or go check out Dusseldorf. But hopefully, we'll just make a day trip out of, going to Dusseldorf and checking it out in the near future. It wasn't until Thursday where I was like, Wednesday and Thursday were like, I felt at least the same, if not a tiny bit better. And then Friday, it was like I could tell I was getting better, but it was like I was just, it was millimeters at a time, like when I normally get sick, I will spend a day, giving myself some rest, take some vitamins, drink some tea, and hydrate with lots of water. And by the next day, it was, you could tell it was an improvement. And then the day after that, it was like almost gone. It's very quick. This has just hung around. The improvement has been so little each day. Finally, I mean, you could tell I'm not better at all. This has been so. Saturday morning last week is when I was the worst. We're on day 8, and I'm like just barely getting by. I had my doctor's appointment that I had scheduled that the blood draw was for, which wasn't an actual doctor's appointment. It was actually a specialty nurse who I go to for diabetes. And she told, I mean, when I was in the waiting room, like just everybody's I was in a separate waiting room. Fortunately, I could hear another waiting room in the distance, just people coughing and hacking. And then when I walked from the doctor's office to the store, I walked to the doctor's office, and then I walked from the doctor's office to the store. I had multiple people passing me, getting out in the morning to go to work or whatever they were doing, and they were just coughing the whole time. So the nurse I was seeing, she told me that there's something going around. Most people, it was taking 2 weeks for it to finally go away. So that's where I'm at. The trip to California was fun. For me, I don't like having to go on. I mean, you could get a direct flight from Amsterdam to Los Angeles, or from Amsterdam to a number of places in the U.S. But one of them's Los Angeles. And it's a 10-hour flight, minimum. I had a flight from Amsterdam to London, and then London to Los Angeles, and they were both ways. They were 11-hour flights, which isn't, it's not great. I get restless leg syndrome. I get uncomfortable. I have trouble sleeping while I'm on the plane. So, I was able to occupy myself with a couple of movies I downloaded to my phone, as well as a whole lot of episodes of the podcast Criminal, which I've recommended before, and I recommend if you like true crime. It's not like this murderer did this serial killer did this person kidnapped this person. It's not individual horrible people. It's a podcast about just various things in relation to crime, and they end up being a lot of very interesting stories. And I recommend the podcast very much so. But, so outside of the flight, I got in, I was able to do spend some time in Venice Beach, walking up and down the what do you call it? The boardwalk area, checking out, the skate park, Muscle Beach. It was technically the off season. For me, it was great. I should have put on shorts. I was just wearing pants and a t-shirt. For California, it was cold, but for me, it was like summertime. It was it was almost 70. But below 70, it's probably like 68, between 68 and 70. And for that, nobody was at the beach. That's freezing for them. My buddy, we get to his work studio and he puts on a heater, and I'm like, it's almost 70. But anyway, I like the cold. So it wasn't crowded, obviously. And I lived many different times in the Southern California area. I never spent much time at Venice Beach, which I know is just a kind of a touristy area now, but something to check out that I hadn't seen before. So I got to see some things there. Did the project I'm working on, which I'm pretty excited to bring you guys. I'm going to contact them today and see when we're going to be ready to announce. I think things are going to going to get going the middle of this month, so it should be coming up in a couple of weeks, I hope. But I'm gonna shoot them a message today, see when they want to start getting some announcements out, do some promo stuff, and we're gonna get going with that. Otherwise, I hung out with my buddy who is the person that used to work on Somewhere Sinister with me. He, had other things come up and didn't have time, which is why I had to shut it down. But we go back to elementary school, so I got to do spend some time there, visit an old friend, and it was it was a good time. Quick trip. And I think the project I worked on is gonna be really cool. I've got some other ideas that I've talked to the people involved with, and we might try to get some other things going. So I'm excited about that. At this point, I'm getting healthier. I wake up in the usually for me so far with this week of sickness, it's been the worst in the morning. I've got up, I've had some tea. If I've needed to, I've taken some Tylenol or some paracetamol here. That's another thing. When I go to the US, I'll usually grab some Tylenol, some NyQuil, like gel caps, and a couple other things that aren't readily available here. I'll put them in my checked luggage and bring them back, which is legal. I'm not breaking any laws. I'm not smuggling anything. Just have a little of that. So while I was sick, the couple of worst days I had some NyQuil gel caps when I went to sleep. But then I wake up in the morning and my head is a little off because the cold medicine will interact with a different medication I take and not make it work as well. So it's a kind of a hard, you kind of got to do a little here, a little there. Obviously, haven't been shaving. Taking nice hot showers has been nice, get the steam or whatever, but I just haven't had the energy in me to shave the whole time. My lips are kind of dry and cracked here. That's part of being a human being and getting sick. It happens to everybody. But I am getting better. I wake up in the morning and I am not, I can get up, I'm not feel like I'm dying. So I am ready to get some work done, on the research and writing end. I have a few other people help me with some research and writing, and so they're getting some stuff in for me to go over, and I can start going over that and getting the writing done, and I'm going to start cranking out some stuff. And as soon as I'm 100%, well, probably before that, I'm not the type of person that if I was a little under the weather, I would, I always try to get some work done because I feel like if I just lay around all day, I'll end up feeling worse. I got to get moving. I try to take a walk, maybe go do a load of dishes, just get some movement in. And that way it helps your blood flow, and kind of helps work out whatever you've got. I think, I'm not a doctor. But that's how I feel, just from experience. If I only lay, I mean, sometimes there's nothing you can do. You're so sick that you gotta lay in bed and you sleep most of the time. Your body's just worn out from trying to work out whatever you got. But if I've got the energy in me, if I just lay there, I'm gonna feel worse at the end of the day. So I try to at least get up and do something. Try to just get outside and take a walk around the block. Just get a little of that fresh air in, especially here. If you're in LA, maybe not so much with the fresh air, but if you're in, a nice rural area, um, or somewhere with nice air quality, get out, get some fresh air, uh, get a little movement, get your blood flowing. That's always good. Drink a lot of water, um, and I try to get an intake of things that have good, um, not anti, good good quality of, um, what's the word I'm looking for? Not antibiotics, but the stuff that helps maintain your immune system. So like garlic and ginger and even red onion is really good for it. My wife made a stew basically of chopped up onions and garlic and ginger and black pepper and stuff like that. Boil it up, strain it, put in some honey and some lemon. It tastes terrible. I mean, it tastes like vomit stew, but it's really good for you. So just try to get, those kind of like vitamins and stuff and a lot of water, and but it's going away. So over the next week, I feel like I'm going to be getting back down to 100%. I'm getting a bunch of stuff written and completed, ready to go. So for This Is Monsters, I'm going to have a bunch of content ready to push out there for the month of March. On this channel, I've got March, I've got a Descendants concert coming up. And I've got a couple other things I'm going to make videos that I've already done that I'm going to make videos about. So we're gonna talk about, maybe we'll go into what it's like with the healthcare system here, since I have been here for over a year, and I haven't really necessarily gotten so sick that I've needed to go in for the doctor's appointment. But there's also a reason I haven't gone in, which I'll talk about, and then talk about some of the other medical things I've needed and how that went. Until then, take care of yourselves, drink lots of water, mask up if you need to, if you're going somewhere where there's a lot of people in public, and stay safe.